So, Dustin, if you could bring us home on kind of the last question here, we're a little bit late for time, but the conversation's been great. What does that mountain really look like after you're at the top and you've climbed it, as far as the onboarding with One Click? Like, what does that actually look like? Because from our reviews, I'll just say this, and the reason that Power 100 has put their stamp on them nationally is heavily based on their white glove onboarding experience and their commitment to, I don't want to say meeting their customer where they are, but I guess that's what it is. Like, some companies need more hand holding and other companies have the systems to deliver the information faster, right? So they can meet you where you are. But what does it look like from somebody that you've done it now with your previous role? You onboarded One Click. Now you're doing it again with your current role. What does that mountain actually look like, brother? Like, is it as big as we think it is, or is it the definition of fear is you only fear the unknown, and once you find out, it's no big deal?
Yeah, that's great point. So from doing this now, being, I call myself a rebuild specialist, right? I've come in there. My favorite saying, to tag off what you guys said a minute ago, right? If you do what you've always done, you no longer get what you've always gotten, you get less. Repeat that again. If you do what you've always done, you don't get what you've always gotten, you get less. Technology's here to stay. And I can tell you that once you climb to the top and you spend the couple weeks putting it together, the thing I loved when I called One Click in, and we removed a relationship from the last company, because they are willing to go the extra mile, like Bryce and Tate and Chris. At the waking need of a need, I can call them, and I'm on Pacific time at 8 o'clock at night, and they will pick up the phone for me. If not, they'll text me and tell me, hey, can I call you back in the morning? But they're always communicating with me, right? If I need to call an emergency meeting because I don't like the way something's lined up, they do it, and then they give me a deadline on when they're going to have it done by, and they meet those deadlines, right? To me, I run now 100 something branches and a ton of freaking regions. I got more people I'm responsible for now than ever. So time is money. And the fact that they do what they say they're going to do is there. So we need to do a price increase. Hey, here's what our price increase is going to be. Guess what? One Click does it. I don't do it. Right. It's like, so the nice thing about it is, once it's built, it's maintenance, and then they help you with the maintenance. There's no other brand, there's no other basically dealers out that I'm aware of that will hold hand you to that point to help get your business where it needs to go, and actually care as much about that as they are their monthly subscription. Right. And I think, like,
Yeah.
anything you do, well, because MRR, right? People are all about
Oh
MRR,
yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
not about living up to the hype. Because I always talk about it, right? After the honeymoon is over, then the real marriage kicks in, right? After the honeymoon's over, then the real marriage kicks in. And when you take a vendor onto your business, it's like a marriage. Because if their tech doesn't work, or it's spotty, or there's something in there that's it affects my business, and that affects the marriage, right? So
Yeah.
if you kind of look at it like a marriage, it's something that, speak for an hour, hold your peace. I do, but I don't plan on switching off to, because I'm a technology brat. I'm spoiled. I freaking love it, dude. And it's something, scaling single branches up in $60 million for a single branch, not a business. Take businesses. Now you got, gigantic empire, great day, and some of the, the brand influence I'm doing, and just one of the brands is going to 10x their business and make it so scalable. Because without tech, you can't scale. In today's day and age, without tech, you can't scale. If you're on paper, you're a dinosaur. And I got to figure out how to, again, at the top, stay at the top. And I'm never going to if I don't integrate. And I throw stuff at Taylor. I call him Superman all the time. He looks like Clark Kent. I throw things at him, and I throw things at their leadership. Hey, we should try to integrate this. What if we did this? And guess what? They listen. Most places, you can't even communicate with the top people because they're too busy out golfing, or they've already made their money. Now they're just sitting
Yeah.
there letting their program go on autopilot. So again, that's one thing I care, is they care, and they can help me execute from my perspective in the time frame I need to execute it within. That's really is what it is like to be at the top. You're never done growing. So I tell you that, I always say, if you have the ability in your business to look up and look out rather than look down and in, I think I stole that from the great Jocko Willink, right? So if I look down and in, I'm not moving, I'm staying in the same place. I need to look up and out but I can't do that if I'm constantly worried about the mistakes happening in the business, right? I call them tier 4 activities, which is other people's priority becomes my priority, which means I'm constantly putting out fires. With them, I'm allowing myself with the system process built to look up and out and work on tier 1, which is mission criticals that allow us to be revenue producing, not wasting our time with other people's priorities. I don't know if
Let's
that summarizes it
go.
very well.
I love it,
Yeah.
man. I love it. Well, we are past time, but the conversation was great. Appreciate Dustin. I appreciate Taylor. Guys, thanks for taking the time to get on here and share some thoughts.
Thank you, Greg. It's great to see
Hey,
you.
thanks for having me, man. For sure.
Absolutely. As you know, I'm Greg Cummings, CEO of Power100, and your host on PowerChat here. And as always, power up.